Now, I want you to see this. This is News 7, Massachusetts News. I live in Manchester, New Hampshire. I want to see what kind of reactions and what kind of comments we can get on this, because this is the other half of how the police live. Not just beating people on the streets, but what they do when they're behind walls and no one is looking or saying anything. And I can't believe that they didn't notice a long time ago once you see this. But I want to see what kind of comments and what kind of reaction we can get to this once, the world sees this. And the world does need to see this, because this is fucked up. And I was arrested in Braintree before, and my evidence straight up was lost, and that's how I got my case dropped. But I was innocent anyways. But straight up the same exact thing. So if you were ever arrested in Braintree, Massachusetts, you definitely want to talk to your lawyer and see what's going on with this. Here we go.
On 7, crucial clues gone. Trouble? Unacceptable. Criminal cases in jeopardy due to tampering trouble.
Real concern tonight at Braintree as prosecutors have already dropped the case due to missing evidence.
The city releasing an audit showing drugs, money, and guns all missing from the evidence room. The 19th Amaco Baca Life Force in Braintree tonight with the story.
Well, Jadian, this is the audit report. The mayor calls the findings unacceptable. Thousands of items went missing, and now the police department is trying to figure out how this will affect their cases going back as far as 17 years.
Missing evidence from the Braintree Police Department can now taint hundreds of criminal cases dating back to 1999. This newly released audit of the police department's evidence room says almost 5,000 pieces of narcotics evidence, more than 60 firearms, 2,400 pieces of property evidence, and more than 400,000 in seized cash went missing.
I find the auditor's report of unaccounted for items and poor record-keeping practices by the police department to be deeply troubling and unacceptable.
The alarming turn of events began in May with the suicide of Officer Susan Zapati, who was in charge of the evidence room. Sources say she took her own life just days after the audit began, and at least 2 of the guns that turned up missing were found in her home. Fallout has already started. Today, 47-year-old Stephen O'Brien, who was allegedly caught on surveillance video trying to kidnap a 13-month-old child at a store, and also had a previous drug charge, will now have those charges thrown out, despite county prosecutors having a strong case.
Given the current state of the evidence room in Braintree, we cannot prosecute the case at this stage.
Defense attorney Peter Ellikin suspects the drug charges against one of his clients will also be dropped as a result of the startling finding.
This is really going to open up a can of worms or a whole Pandora's box, and that they may have to look at some of these prior convictions. People either pleaded guilty in the face of evidence that could have possibly been tampered with, or they lost trials, and they may have to try to undo all of that.
Now, the audit outlines more than 80 recommendations to be put in place here at the police department. The mayor says that new protocols have already been put in place, including a new staff.
New staff, yeah, right.
7 News 19.